Did you have people watching the Super Bowl at your place? The King Pizza?
Yeah.
Dope.
I mean, it was kind of hard to read. We did a lot of takeout business, and then a little steady stream came through and watched the game. So it wasn't anything crazy. I just don't think Wenatchee's a big sports town, you know?
Did they show the streaker on your fucking feed? Because we were watching live, and at one point they were like, "Oh, hold on, there's this like partial streaker on the field," but they never cut to him. And I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, cut to him."
No, that's like a very deliberate method from like all the major sports organizations that they all are in agreement that they never show the streakers, so they don't enable them by giving them attention. So it's very deliberate.
Oh man, I really wanted to see it because I heard the announcers commenting on it. And she's like, "Then don't comment on it. Like, if you're not
Yeah, this guy really hangs dong, huh?"
Right? They were like, a streaker. He's like, well, partial streaker. He only has his shirt off. I was like, okay, I still want to see it.
I know. I was talking to my business partner the other day. Like, what are the logistics where, like, how quickly do you have to strip down before security catches you? Or do you have, like, an accomplice that lets you get onto the field and you find a dark corner and start going? I mean,
I don't know.
If you start wrestling with your shirt, someone's going to notice and be like, hey, that's guy's streaking.
Keep your goddamn shirt on. Yeah. This is a family event. I don't know, because also wouldn't you need like field access? Because those tickets are like five.
Yeah, they're like thousands of dollars. So I don't know how you just like casually walk onto the field in the most televised thing of the year. You know.
Yeah. That was a decent. Like, I don't know. The game wasn't that great, but like it was intense. You know, overtime and everything. I don't know.
The first half was kind of boring, but the second half was really solid. So
they had that one play where they threw the ball to the running back and then he threw it back to the other guy or some shit, and it's like, what the fuck was that? They just like throwing the ball back and forth, but it worked. Got a touchdown.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna start doing this thing, so I might be in and out, but I'm still working with this Bluetooth earphone, so I've never done that before. So I guess just
fun.
The audio's all weird.
Monosuerte is asking, what are the delivery fees to the middle of Wisconsin? Do you deliver to the middle of Wisconsin, Mark, from Wenatchee?
We do not deliver, although maybe one day. Wisconsin, probably not. But...
Oh, it sounds like your earbud. You can probably hear us, but your microphone seems to be further away when you're over in that
think your laptop might be doing the mic.
Like, it sounds like you're walking away from your mic when you're on the other side of the kitchen. Although I feel like you can still hear
maybe
us.
I have to change the mic to the...
You might need to change the mic settings in StreamYard.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so I feel like it's very spatial when you walk
Eric
away.
Yo says, pizza. What's up, guys? Mark, long time no see.
Random
talk.
King says, who's that?
Random King says, haven't seen Mark in forever.
Okay, I think I got it better now.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Sorry, good.
Ooh. Yep, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, and now try saying something from the other side of the room.
Bueller.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Beautiful.
Bob says, holy fuck, Mark is looking hot. Yeah. All caps. Hot.
Hot. Super hot. Super hot.
Oh, we get some ASMR going too, and you're making that dough. That's beautiful.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, a little bit of like noise.
So I'm just dissolving the yeast in here. So this is we do 90-pound batches of dough. So this is like a big commercial mixer. So yeah, I just dissolve the yeast first before I add in all the other stuff. We've been checking the temperature of the water too.
Do we get to see the mother? Do we get to see the mother yeast?
Or yeah, I have the sourdough starter down here too. Yeah.
Ooh.
What's the date?
How big is like a mother yeast? Is it like a massive fucking thing, or are you taking really small amounts?
Like a mason jar, right?
We use like for this 90-pound.
Your mama used so fat. Your mother used so fat.
We use about, well, here, I'll show you. Like, we use about 1,100 grams in a full batch. So this is our starter.
Ooh, that's bigger than I was expecting.
More than I thought.
How does, so yeah, like...
How liquid is it?
5 quarts, but we just fed it. So this is kind of all fluffed up because it's all fed, so it doubles in size when you feed it. But we'll use about 1,100 grams per batch. So in the context of the recipe, it's about 5% starter out of the total hydration ratio.
How do you? How often do you feed it? Like every time?
Every day.
Every day. So you want to feed it
bigger and bigger.
It's like a Tamagotchi.
You discard half and then feed it, and then you basically maintain it at that same level.
Oh, okay.
So
Wait, you discard half?
discard-
You don't use that to food? You don't make that food out of that? It just gets thrown away?
Or well, yeah, we do use it every day, and on days where we're not making dough, we would discard it. Yes. So, so it's basically 1 to 1 to 1. So we use about 1,000 grams in the recipe, 1,000 grams of water, and 1,000 grams of existing or more new flour. So it kind of.
So in dough terms, you would describe yourself as pro-life?
I guess so.
Oh no, wait, I guess that's more pro-choice, right? Because you're aborting part
you're
of the dough.
you're aborting the extra dough. We're gonna
Yeah,
probably
okay.
charge early in this
Dennis
stream.
Rich's got a good one too. Mother, I'd like to ferment for the mother dough. Yep.
Oh, and then this is the hot honey that I've been doing. This is hot honey.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
during the Super Bowl, Pizza Hut
That
had
shit
a
was
bunch
super
of hot
good.
honey ads. It's like Pizza Hut's fucking ripping off Mark. I knew it.
Well, there is Mike's hot honey that came before me, but Mark's hot honey's coming soon.
I think a Pizza Hut fucking they're the biggest competition in town. I think they snuck into Mark's restaurant. They got undercover Pizza Hut operatives.
Yeah.
They came in, saw your recipes, and changed it on a corporate level. Because if you're winning,
Like we need some pizza experience.
You know what's
I
funny
know.
is like I saw that Papa John thing that he's like, I've ate 40 pizzas in the last 30 days. And then I was like, man, I don't think that's that crazy now that I'm in a pizza restaurant all the time. Not that I eat 30 whole pizzas or 40 whole pizzas, but I probably eat at least a slice of pizza every day.
The
But this
context of that
gives me
though
a
is
slice and a full thing.
the context
But
of that
he's
though is
ordering
that was,
the pizzas.
yeah, that was after he's left and he had to step down as a chair, so he's ordering that many
Yeah.
pizzas to make sure the quality was still good. So that wasn't like he's still working there. That was like him like just
Okay,
wanting
then
to talk
that's
shit about
kind
it basically.
He's doing solo
That's-
QC. That's like independent QC that no one's asking for, basically.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like a slice of pizza every day, especially if you're working at a pizza place, isn't crazy.
Eric says if you bottle it and sell it, he'll buy some. I think he's talking about Mark's hot honey. I like the consistency of the hot honey at your place for pizza dunking because it is like a lot more watery than like, honey. The way I picture honey, honey's pretty like viscous. But I feel like the
Yeah,
hot
so
honey is
the
a lot more
water from
watery.
the peppers like leach as you ferment it, so it kind of thins out the honey. But it works well, yeah, because it's more saucy,
Yeah, you can actually dip your crust and stuff or like drizzle it easily onto like a pizza. Whereas like, the viscous honey would be not as easy.
Is the hot honey, is that something like you can put on any pizza, or are there specific pizzas that's like a topping for?
You can put it on anyone. We just have a hot honey pepperoni on the menu. But honestly, some people like to use it for crust, like Max said, or
I
you
was
could put it
thinking
on really anyone. So it could be either or, but we just designed the menu to have a hot honey pepperoni so that the hot honey would kind of be the star of the show,
Yeah, for
It
sure.
was very good.
Montessori just says that's a business expense. I'm not sure which was the business expense, the hot honey or bottling it and selling it. I wonder, there's probably like a whole different line of like legal shit to be able to bottle and sell stuff than just serving it. Right?
Yeah, I've honestly looked into it. I know a lot of people around here would want to buy it if I packaged it. But because it's a fermented product, it's kind of hard to know what the health department standards are on that for like bottling and selling it. And also you might have to have like nutrition facts and things like that. So that might be a little bit more of a project than I just make a shit ton and buy some bottles, but I'd have to look into it more.
I see.
I remember for a while you were doing your like liquor concoctions.
The spirits,
Yeah.
those are great.
But I remember that was also sounded like a pain in the ass to try to like ever do commercially.
I know that was initially like the first business idea I wanted to do, and I just never quite figured out how to scale it up. So I definitely would like to do it here at the restaurant and do like infused spirits or do like big cocktails with infused spirits, but doing it as like a full-on label and stuff would be, I think, a little bit more cumbersome.
Do you have a full bar? Or are you beer, or what's your drinking?
Yeah, full
situation?
bar.
Yeah. Max came to visit around Christmas time, so that was cool to see him and Paul.
Full bar, pretty damn good, old fashioned too, and it was like $12, which is even for Wenatchee. I tried old fashions like up and down the street where we were, where your restaurant is, and it was like the best tasting and most affordable of the old fashions I tried.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, we do Buffalo Trace, and we use like a Demerara syrup, which is just like fancy brown sugar.
It's good.
Romano Sorte was saying the business expense would be when you eat pizza every day, you can write that off as a quality control check. Like you need to do that for the business.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I remember when I worked at Disney, I loved working like the roasted almond cart because like part of making roasted almonds is QCing them and making sure they're like good. So I was eating roasted almonds like every batch that I made. I had like a little bit of them, but man, that adds up fast. Get a lot of roasted almonds. I would have probably had diabetes if I worked that job every day.
Are roasted almonds bad for you?
I mean, it's just covered in sugar, like cinnamon sugar. So it's like they're like candied almonds.
Eric Yo says, "What is your most popular menu? Is it the hot honey menu item? Is it the hot honey pizza?"
Yeah. Ironically, it's the supreme. It's just a simple supreme, just like pepperoni, sausage, olives, onions, mushrooms. That probably sells the most like crazy. People just want what they know, and the crust is what does a lot of the work. The dough recipe itself. So.
That's true. The crust, the like dough is really fucking good. I really like. There's a pepperoni hot honey one that you have. That was really good.
But yeah, I would say the second most popular is the hot honey pepperoni for sure.
Yeah,
I think it was on Facebook. People are talking about the Hawaiian, liking the Hawaiian in some sort of review.
Oh yeah, that one's just a standard one. We've been working on doing a Spam pizza and calling it the Big Ham for Dan, and it's Portuguese sausage, spam, pineapple, and then like hot sauce over top, and then like seaweed instead of oregano.
Ooh, that sounds
kind of fun.
Okay,
that sounds interesting.
That might be a little aggressive for small town rural Central Washington.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've never had seaweed on a pizza, and I'm from a big town.
But yeah, I mean, if you look.
Oh yeah,
this is a really healthy starter. I mean, you see like this is fed, but you can see all the kind of bubble activity in there. I'm actually going to pour this on my keyboard. I know it, but yeah. So, and it smells like super sweet, which is like a really good sign of like a very healthy starter. So you can even smell the starter when the dough's cooked. It like smells really similar. So it's kind of cool to kind of see how much our starter loves life over here.
And you got those like S&M gloves on, so you can like rough it up a bit.
So yeah, I mean, this is like a little cheese pull here.
How hard is it to fucking like accidentally kill a starter? Like, can you kill a starter?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Don't feed it. Don't give it air or something. Too cold. Yeah, it'll die pretty easily.
Yeah, it's very sensitive
Holy
to
sticky.
heat.
Wow, that's way sticky.
Yeah, it's like super
sensitive. Or are you just eyeballing it?
Everything's measured very, very meticulously.
Oh, okay.
Do those containers have like measurement marks on them?
No, you can just tear it out based on the weight.
Oh, so you're weighing it. I see it's on the scale.
Yeah, you are sitting. It is sitting on the scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Derek Yo says KY would support me on this one. Ever thought of adding green chili as a topping?
Oh yeah. I'd be into that. There's like Wenatchee's like a very big Hispanic area, so like I feel like that would land pretty good.
Oh yeah, I love the Mexican pizza that I get from like a Slice of LA out here, which is like it's like cilantro, pepperoni, and like jalapenos and some other stuff, but it's really good.
Bob
pretty basic, honestly.
Southwest style.
It's basically the most like Mexican stuff on there is the jalapeno and the cilantro, but it's good.
And when I actually remember my grandparents lived there for a while, and it was like half the radio stations are like Mexican music. We also went to like a mariachi festival, which was like really fucking dope. It was like a bunch of mariachi bands, and they had like a bunch of Mexican food, like street food.
But, yeah, it's funny. One of the most popular like things in town at the convention center is the Quinceañera convention, and it's just a whole trade show of like people who do things related to quinceañeras, you know, like food vendors and like dress and clothing and like event coordinating and all this sort of stuff. So it's funny how big of a market there is for that.
Yeah. Oh, and
Quinceañera's like what, a
topic-
sweet 16? Like what's a quinceañera?
Yeah, it's like a sweet
That's
16.
totally what it is. It's
A coming of age. It's like a bar mitzvah, right?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like becoming like coming of womanhood or something. Thing. Celebration of womanhood.
Yeah.
Speaking about green chili though, did you hear Salsa Verde is coming back to Taco Bell?
Oh, nice. I wholeheartedly support that for sure.
Yeah,
Monosuerte says it's sweet 16 at 15 years old. Okay.
yeah.
Is that
Quince,
that what quince
Quince
is?
is 15. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that
haven't
makes
taken
sense
Spanish
now,
in a
yeah.
long ass time.
yeah. I can still count in Spanish.
Is it bat mitzvah? Is that a specific age, or is that just like a you're feeling
13.
like an adult? 13.
If I remember correctly from my Jewish friends, I think it's 13.
I feel like I fucking have no cool tradition, like growing up in the Washington suburbs, not particularly religious. Just like, yeah, like you just
I'd say
fucking,
something that I miss in being like now in America and having grown up with it, but it really doesn't exist out here, is celebrating your name's day.
names day,
Yeah, you have
What is
like
that?
everyone
Like
has
when
a
you-
name day.
like for
Isn't
your
that your
surname.
birthday?
Say again?
Isn't that
For
your
like your-
birthday?
No,
No, is
your
it-
birthday is your
It's
birthday.
for like your
That's
surname, right?
Geburtstag.
Like your last name.
But Namstag is like the day. It's like the saint's day for the saint that like shares your name.
Is it your
I
first
think,
or
or
last
something,
name?
something like that. My first
Oh,
name.
okay. I see. That makes
Oh,
sense.
it's your first name.
Yeah, the first
so
name.
do
yeah.
a bunch of people share names then? Because there's got to be more than 360.
yeah, yeah.
names.
If I know another Maximilian, we would have the same name.
I
day.
mean, like, does Max have the same names day as like Jonathan or whatever? Because there's like, there's more than 300 names. So he
oh,
gets some
I
overlap
guess
there.
so. I mean, I haven't run into that, but
Get
I
the
do
fuck off my
remember
names day. This is the Max day.
it's similar to like a birthday in the sense that like my mom would make would make whoever's name's day it is. My mom would make like a cake or some kind of like pastry or dessert, and then you get like cards from people and maybe like small gifts, not quite birthday scale, but I don't know. It's fun, and it
feel
just
like
doesn't. It's like it just doesn't fucking exist at all in America. I mean, I think the most people would know Names Day from fucking Game of Thrones.
If we get raided, we have our sounds turned off because I'm not sharing my
Oh,
screen.
I
But thank you
I
for the
missed it if I
raid,
did.
Las Vegas Ape. We are checking out
What's really
Neon
good?
Mark's new pizza restaurant in Wenatchee, Washington. He worked super hard pretty much all last year doing construction. He built it from the ground up with his bare hands, no help.
Yeah,
Every brick.
these hands.
Well, I do have a business partner, but
They didn't hire any contractors. They just did it all themselves.
I became a licensed electrician and a licensed plumber.
No big
I made it
deal.
through. We did have an architect kind of draw things up too, so there's a lot that went into it. It certainly was a long time and very expensive. But
KY
this
says you're
part I know a
cheating.
lot better.
He says you need to be mixing that shit with your hands. So
Yeah, we
It's not
did use
really
to do
approved.
for those reasons, I'm out.
Yeah, for those of you
Dang.
joining us, we're Neon Space. We all grew up together. We're friends. We have a collectible brand on wax, but we stream together almost every day for like several years straight. But Mark has been not able to stream with us lately because he's been busy with this. So this is our first time checking back in with Mark on his new pizza restaurant, which is super cool. This is
Yeah.
my first time seeing it. Max went to visit last Christmas when he went back, but I haven't been back to.
I did, but I
Washington State.
didn't see this. I didn't see this part of it, so I didn't get into like the back room. It was already like,
Yeah, there isn't like a whole lot going on, but it's a small space. I'll do a little virtual tour here once I get this mixing, and but yeah, like behind here on the other side of my laptop is like the walk-in cooler, and then this back room's just like a mechanical room for all the HVAC. Then
I'm the KY is asking what brand of 00 is that? Reveal all the
there's
secrets.
the fish pit.
I have a
and then-
follow up
Ooh.
question.
Yeah,
What is
cooler.
00? Is that flour? Like what's 00 mean?
00 is like kind of like how finely milled it is, so it's kind of like the coarseness of the flour. So this is like it's
Oh.
traditionally used in like Neapolitan style, like Italian wood fire pizzas and things.
What brand
I
is
think
it?
it
KY's
also
asking, or-
implies some of the protein content too. The protein content determines like how well it absorbs water and some of the gluten structuring as well. But we use shepherd's grain. It's like a local Northwest company, so they use all the flour from Washington and Oregon. So it's 0-0 style, but it uses locally milled and farmed wheat.
That's
Better
baller.
look
Would you
out. Pizza Hut's
consider-
gonna start using that. Pizza Hut's gonna be using that in their next fucking hot honey pizza. I know it.
Yeah. Meat Puppet is saying, would you consider your pizza thin crust? Do you make
Yes.
thin
Do
crust
you
pizza?
make a thin crust pizza specifically?
don't
Not
know.
particularly. No,
Yeah.
it's closer
It's
to
not
a
like
New
thin-
York
it's
style.
not- yeah, it's also not
doesn't
like
eat
thick crust.
thick. Yeah, it doesn't eat thick. It's very light, but it has like a fluff to it almost. So it's not crackery. It's more like it has a decent sized crust to it in like the look of it, but it eats, kind of airy because of all the yeast activity from the sourdough starter and from the 2-day ferment cycle we do.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Random King says he's going to be coming to visit in September.
Oh, that's right. Random Kings in Washington State. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think what's his face, Funko guy. He streams
Sully?
a lot. Sully,
Oh,
yeah.
Sully, yeah. Nerds Unite.
Shout out to the Nerds Unite community and CS Soli. Dr. Crispy, Valor and Vellum, all friends in Neon Space. Eric Yo sent us a video that we can watch real quick of, I guess he made Super Bowl pizza. Do you want to come judge his pizza, Mark, or are you too busy?
I need to pay
Okay,
attention
well,
so I don't
That's
miss
fine.
stuff.
Do
But
your thing.
yeah, later.
On our screen will be pulling up Eric Yo's pizza. Oh, he's got one of those uni grills. But he's showing he's showing his green chili pepperoni pizza. Looks pretty good. I'd take a bite out of that.
Okay.
Even the raw one looks pretty good. I was like, it's like the cookie dough version of pizza. I eat that shit. You don't need to cook it. All right, and then there's a finished product is the next one, I think. Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, shit. With fucking open flame action. Dope.
That uni grill's pretty dope. Like, I was telling Max the other day, like I've been getting more into making crock pot stuff, and I was like, I wish we had like a balcony or something so I could get a legit smoker because I'm getting into the long cooking process. I feel like
Yeah, that
so
would be
much
dope.
flavor. Monosuerte says, hot take. There needs to be Neon Space mashups. Cut my life into pizza and Mark the Narc.
yeah, I'm gonna get a cut my life into pizza neon sign for the restaurant. I just need some vector files from Paul. So
Oh, yeah,
we'll get
Paul was saying
one,
he's waiting on the dimensions, he said.
Yeah, I texted it to him the other day, but so yeah, no big deal. But I was gonna use the same place that did Max's custom Neon Space sign and do a cut my life into pizza. So.
Yes, I have one, but it's a little off frame. Let me rotate
And
my
you have
camera.
you already have like a spaceship, like you have some sort of neon pizza sign, right?
Yeah, we have like that UFO one. One of
You chose
Chris's
that when
friends
you do
got
the
that
tour.
one. Yeah.
Mark is also, just for the audience, Mark isn't going to give us a tour of the restaurant, but this is actual work day for him. So he's making the dough that he's going to make into pizza tomorrow. So he has to get this situated and all timed out. And then once it's auto cooking or auto mixing, or
If I
whatever, right, then
remember
you can come to the
correctly,
restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
if I remember correctly from Mark's visiting and seeing the whole operation, this dough is going to be chilling all day tomorrow, while the dough that's chilling today is going to be cooked tomorrow.
Yeah,
Is that
so it's a 2-day ferment cycle. So we do 1 day in the fridge in like a bulk form. Then we ball them and portion them, and then do a second full day in the fridge, and then cook it that day later. Or sorry, then cook it the following day. So
Nice.
the third day. I suppose.
Eric is asking about the pictures on Facebook, if they're AI generated. I believe they are.
Yeah, they are AI generated. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a Mid-Journey. Mid-Journey.
Just also in the background, I got a Grubfish pulled up if anybody wants to join. Do exclamation point neon in your Wax wallet.
I just played a scratch lottery ticket and lost.
Max is just over there scratching for victory. I also want to show off real quick. Actually, let's show off Max's. If you did win, you just show all your answers.
Okay, here. Ready? You want to see? I'm going to scratch one from scratch here, and let's see if I win. The game is to match 3 prizes, and then you win the prize.
Year of the Dragon. What do we got there? We got 100. That'd be cool if you won $100. We got a 4. Is that 50? 30.
Ooh, bad start, yo. No duplicates yet, and there's only 3 left.
Yeah, you're going to have to get 3 of the same. You said 4 of the same, right?
No, just 3.
Okay, then you're still... Meat Puppet's asking to use tap water or purified.
Oh, for the water, we just use our local tap water.
You don't got that LA tap water. Ooh, that's a loser right there.
I mean, yeah, I think tap water in this area in Washington State in general is pretty good.
I remember that whenever I go home to visit my parents, like just drinking out of the faucet, I was like, this tastes so much better than the water in Los Angeles. Like, Washington's got some dope water. Got that fresh. Max is just going hard on these scratch tickets. He lost 2 in a row. Let's see if the third one could be a winner. Up to 888. You got the max there if you can get 3 of them. Oh, is that a second 888? Max is 1 scratch away from winning at 888. $30. Give me an 8. Give me an 8. $4. Oh, darn. You got 2 of them that were 2, though. That was closer than the last one. Here's our grubfish. I also really want to quickly show off. Speaking of Mark the Narc, we have some Mark the Narc stickers still available if anybody's interested. This is based on our digital collectible NFT, which is a blend we did. But if you're interested in stickers, we got Mark the Narc stickers. And we also just did a new drop, ET Phone It In stickers. And these are shipping on Friday. So that means if you order these, you still have a shot to get the shiny version. Because every purchase is potentially wins a second shiny sticker. So we'll ship these on Friday if anybody's interested. Got the ET Phone It In and then also the Mark the Narc. So Mark will tell on you. It's true.
He will. Now the green ticket also lost. All losers today. I don't know if you guys ever did the scratch and win scratcher tickets, but man, that takes me back to like high school days.
Andre said my old boss won $650 in the $5 scratch. That's pretty good.
That's super good. The most I ever won was $40 on a $1, but that's really good. I think lifetime on buying scratchers, I might be like at break even, maybe like negative $20.
All right, so this is gonna mix for a few minutes, so I can do a little tour if y'all want.
Let's go.
Okay, so yeah, I mean we're in an old Bank of America, so this is basically like a second floor mezzanine of an old bank. So there's like the walk-in cooler, where I was working. This is like a little salad make line. So when we're in service, there's like just a little kind of station where we can make salads. Obviously, like this is health department required stuff.
Yes,
I can't tell what you guys see, so I'm just holding my laptop here. So here's like the pizza make line. So this is like our just basically kitchen area. So this little L-shaped table is like an expo cutting station. We have all our boxes down there and pizza pans and things. Then
there's
this
the
is like
sign too.
there's the make line for all the pizzas. So this will be kind of where everything's going, getting topped. Here's the UFO sign here. I'll show you.
Nautical Mass said this is where the salad is tossed. Do you use salads?
We do salad, yeah. Oops.
And Eric yes says I still want to see pizza slices shooting through some vacuum tubes.
Oh,
Get
here.
it. Oh yeah, that's dope.
There you go. So we have that. These are our ovens. So these
How
are
many ovens
like
is that? You have just the two,
like
or does it go to? Is there one below?
4
Two? Oh yeah,
oven
3,
decks.
4. Okay.
Yeah, and then like a hood vent.
How many pizzas?
How
can
many
you just fit
pizzas
one
can you
pizza
make
the
in one
oven?
slot of that oven? Like how many pizzas are going at once in those ovens?
So here, I'll catch up here. So like there's like our little dough sheeter, so that'll kind of press out and evenly flatten out some of the dough skins, and then we'll hand toss them to order.
Okay, nice.
And then here's the dining room. Obviously, all the chairs are flipped. We're not open today. But this is the bar. I don't know if you can tell, but we have like 14 seats here. Here's like the live edge that we kind of did. I posted some pictures in Discord when we were building it.
I sat at the far end of this bar when I came to visit.
So yeah, I don't know if you can kind of see up close like that. So we have like some live edge going on.
Yeah, that's dope.
Got our Mario Kart posters. Chris, my business partner, and his family are very serious Mario Karters. 64 Mario Kart specifically. So we have this guy as well.
Nice. I also like the soda fountain picture over by the soda fountain, but we'll get there.
Yeah, so here's like the back bar. We have some strip lights on here too to kind of make it look cool.
Oh, Buick is asking what beer you got on tap.
So, it's kind of hard to tell because it's daytime, but we have all these strip lights
I don't know if Mark can hear
kind
us.
of behind here to
Oh.
illuminate the bottles.
Yeah, that it looks super cool when the light, the backlighting is on.
And then we got like another night helmet. Let's see. I'll get down to the taps here. So it's a pretty small area. So like all these holes are structural, so we couldn't get a really big kegerator. So
Let's see.
we just have 4 taps. So this is out of Spokane, Brick by Brick. It's like a West Coast IPA. We have Icicle, which is local here in Leavenworth. They're amber. Bodhisattva, that's a Georgetown brewing. It's a very popular one here in Washington. And then Solid Gold Founders.
You don't have a Bud Light
And-
tab?
We have like domestics in the can. So yeah, here's our little well to make drinks. Points of sale, glassware.
That window out there is where all the people like huddle up and get ready to
then-
storm the place before it opens.
We have a bunch of band posters all over as like kind of our theming. So got some Sharon Jones, the Dap Kings, Weezer. This is that Macaulay Culkin Pizza Underground one I was showing you, or I was telling you about. It's actually signed by Macaulay Culkin, and he toured with Lizzo. Crazy.
That's wild.
Damn.
Some Foo Fighters, Slightly Stupid, things like that. This is just like a little mop sink area. So like all the soda fountains. This is all the syrup for the soda, mop sink. So on the other side of this, you have the Coke machine. This is where I'm going to put
there's a
picture of the
picture.
soda machine.
Yeah. It's a soda machine picture up on the wall.
Yeah, so I think to cut my life into pizzas, because this is like right in the doorway. So this is the entrance, and directly through it, you have this soda machine. And so right above the Coke machine, we'll put up the cut my life into pizza.
That's
then-
dope, so people can see it from the street.
Yeah, so this is like our order counter. So like my business partner's wife did all the brickwork there. It's like kind of thin brick you can get at the store, but she did like actual grouting on it. And then we have
Uh-oh. Mark got
What's
disconnected.
up? Here I am. I feel like he probably hit the wrong thing with his laptop by carrying it awkwardly to do the tour.
Let's
Oh,
get
well.
our.
Yeah, that's cool. I sat like right next to that place where you came in. The first seat at the bar there is where Paul and I were sitting.
All right, Mark's back. Mark's back.
Sorry, I accidentally hit the wrong button and closed it out.
Yeah, we thought
Like-
fat finger.
Specials we were going to do for the Super Bowl, or we did for the Super Bowl, and then
Did you have a lot of people watching the game there?
have the night here. Yeah, it was hit and miss. A lot of people kind of do their own thing around here. It's not a big sports town. But yeah, we did a lot of takeout business, a lot of people doing to-go pizzas and stuff. And then,
Did you have to sign up for Paramount Plus?
no,
I signed up for
it's
the
on
free trial.
TV. It's on cable television. It was just the wild card game that was streaming.
Do you have you have TV subscription? You have like just standard cable?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So anyway, that's kind of the gist of it, really. It was kind of hard to hold the laptop right, but more or less that's the deal. We have we have like these kind of hanging plants in the windows and stuff, but it's
Are those real
it's a cool
plants?
location. We're like right downtown, so when you're in the parking lot, you can kind of look in here through the windows, and when we have the blinds up, you'll see TVs, you see this bar, you see this liquor shelf, you see all the kind of activity in here. So it's kind of a cool little snapshot from the road about kind of what's happening in here. And we're on the kind of the busiest street in the downtown area, so it's a good kind of I don't know, kind of way to kind of encapsulate what we're all about here as people pass by.
KY is asking, do you have a live sourdough ball? Is that what we already saw? We saw some sort of mother dough thing earlier. I think you might
Yeah,
have missed
it
that
was like
part.
it's like in a big.
Oh,
like-
the starter. Yeah, I mean, I put it in the dough, but yeah, this is the sourdough starter.
Ooh,
It's
how much of
real.
it did
It's
you
way
take?
stickier than I was imagining. Like it's really.
Oh, you took a lot of it
Goopy.
out. It got way smaller
Yeah.
than it was earlier.
Yeah, it is. It is super sticky. It's definitely. So we'll feed it every day, but yeah, it's a pretty healthy starter. We've been using it for several months now, and it's really well acclimated to this climate. We're gonna try and get some humidity or barometers or whatever the word is, like to detect like air humidity in here, so we can make it even more kind of curated to make the starter happy.
Nice. Pizza made from happy starters.
Meat Puppet is asking, what is the average
Yeah,
price
happy
per
pizza comes from happy starters.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you say, Lou?
What do you charge per pizza? Meat Puppet is asking.
So we've been doing $20 12-inch, $30 16-inch, but I think coming soon we're going to switch to just doing 14-inch pizzas. It's becoming like we make a good bit of pizza. We probably sell about 70 pizzas a day, and in like 3 hours. And it's so busy on the weekends, we'll literally run out in like an hour and a half. It's like not 70 pizzas is like a lot of fucking pizza, but because we're in such a small space and we do that 2-day ferment cycle, we can only fit so much in the fridge at any given time. So if we were to increase our capacity in any real way, we'd have to basically get a bigger or a second walk-in cooler, which we don't have the space or the electrical output for. So we're switching, instead of doing 12-inch and 60 inches, we're going to do 14-inch pizzas, and that's it, and just do the one size. And then we can kind of make more in the pizza batch that we are capable of, and then streamline some of the process so we're not portioning two separate sizes and stretching two different sizes. Have all these different kind of models for either or, so we can just kind of make it simpler.
That's not a bad idea to like scale. Would you then do $25 for 14? Is that the idea?
Exactly. Yeah, we would just kind of split the difference.
That's not bad at all. Honestly, $25 for that pie was not bad.
Asking, what do you feed the sourdough starter?
we feed it the same flour that we use in the dough. So we just do that 00 shepherd's grain. And it's just 1 to 1 to 1. So 1 part water, 1 part flour, 1 part starter.
I see. And
Hey,
Buick
Wick is
wants to
asking-
know what kind of discount NFT holders get at King Pizza.
Yeah, I don't know if my business partner is like super. so,
Yeah,
but
Mark
I
will
certainly
flip
buy
you-
you some beers. I'll do that for sure. You show me you own
Oh.
Neon Space NFT, I'll buy you a beer.
That's not a bad deal at all,
Yeah, it's better utility than most NFT projects.
right?
I'll tell you
Get
that.
you a beer. You get yourself a pizza.
There's
show
a
'em
real
you got an
tangible
NFT,
value to
beer.
that beer. I'm not giving you some shit coin where I'm like, here, have some coupons at my restaurant. Here, I'm actually giving you a real tangible thing that you can drink and enjoy.
Right? That's pretty good. Then you could come back again and enjoy it another time, maybe. But that's it. Not a third time. That's too much. Maybe a second time.
I feel like if you're visiting, it's probably cool, but like if you live in Wenatchee, I don't think he's gonna like you try to get free beer every day. That's not it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Although, I mean,
Depends on which
also,
NFT you own.
they're gonna move to Wenatchee. all of a sudden. Oh my god! I mean, yeah, we're just Wenatchee's a
Yeah,
big
this-
small town, you know. So it's
Yeah.
not like total middle of nowhere, like one stoplight town, small town, but it's certainly not Seattle.
Yeah. A Mark the Narc. I forgot to bring my Mark the Narc sticker. I was gonna stick one in Mark's restroom, but then I was like, no. it's fine.
I've got one right here.
Well, I was gonna put some stickers on the kegerator, so we have like you can see the kegerator from the bar. So I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe I could have all the Neon Space stickers on the
that'd be a good
kegerator
spot for 'em.
doors.
Yeah.
What are your neighboring businesses? Like if you guys expand one day, can you just like make an entire fucking like prep station in a business next door?
That yes, that would be the move. Like we didn't really anticipate the demand to be so intense, and people are like freaking out over this pizza. Dude. It's so crazy. Like a lot of the nuance of the dough recipe is my business partner. You know, we work together a lot on it, but it's really all of his kind of tinkerings that's really taken it to this next level. And so he's not like, I'm making the best pizza on the planet. But people are freaking out. They're like, dude, holy shit. Like, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life.
I mean,
like,
That's funny.
you are in like I mean, you even said you like went and scoped out and you're like the fucking biggest competition is Pizza Hut or something. You're like, there's basically no like artisan pizza in the area.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's just a town starved for kind of that kind of quality. And so right now we've only been open. We opened the day after Thanksgiving, so it's been about 2.5 months. So we're still kind of paying down our loans, getting our feet under us, figuring out our, you know, what the cadence of our profits are. Anything new in Wenatchee just gets absolutely just bombarded because people are used to seeing the
Yeah.
same restaurants for the last 20 years. So we're still feeling is like this the honeymoon phase? Is this normal? But the next plan theoretically would be, since we can't add more refrigeration here and make more dough, we would have to get like an off-site commissary kitchen or something, or a separate location that all we do is make dough, and then could like send it to the restaurant, and then that would probably be a more likely scenario. So I think
Okay.
that's the most likely scenario. There's some places potentially in this building because it's 2 stories, and there's a florist down below us and like a high-end gift shop. And so there may be some space down there where there's some existing refrigeration and existing stuff that wouldn't require a lot of heavy lifting to make it health permittable.
Yeah.
So that's an option, but we would have to pay a second lease, and what is that number, and how much construction we have to do to bring it up to code, and then we have a second set of health permits and stuff. So that's something that maybe down the line, the next 6 months to a year, we could figure out. But
I feel like you should definitely
But
make
yeah,
sure that like the business keeps demanding. It does seem like, I don't know, you've been selling out for a while though, so who knows if you might just always be hype. There's places like that in LA where like they're only open like 2 or 3 hours a day, and if you like don't show up, like you have to show up and wait in a line like consistently. So I feel like the like scarcity thing almost drives more traffic there because it becomes like, oh, like you have to fucking get it while it's
Yeah.
hot. And I feel like you're kind of creating that in Wenatchee.
Yeah, I think so too. It's funny because that whole kind of super hot ticket, like this place is the shit kind of thing is not normal around here, but it totally is in Seattle. There's like a place called Nomo that does Detroit style pizza, and there's like a months long wait list. You literally get on like a 3-month long wait list, and then they're like, okay, you can come in and get your pizza. And it's like it's just like it's like planning a vacation or something, and people love it because the pizza's that good. So I don't think we're trying to be that, but it certainly is something that's common to big cities and big food towns that I think some people just don't get it here. Like, there's no fucking way I'd wait in line for this. It's like, okay, then just don't, because there's like 50 other people that would. We literally had 5-degree weather here like a couple weeks ago. There's a woman with her infant child in 3-degree weather waiting in line in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like,
But hey, that
this
baby's
is
eating
3
good.
degrees Fahrenheit.
like there's like 30 people in line like on Fridays. It's just crazy, dude. So like it's really kind of fun and intense at the same time. And but yeah, I think it is creating this weird mystique around us where like people will come in and sit down. They're like, dude, I did it. I got in, guys. Go.
Yeah.
So we didn't really plan to make it that way, but it is kind of funny to kind of see what the culture that's building around it and the brand that's building around it. So
Seems like you get really good reviews too. Like I looked through your Facebook a bit, and like when I was just googling, because I was trying to find your website, and when I googled it, there was like several blogs, like Wenatchee food blogs, that are like, "This is like outstanding pizza." So I'm definitely excited. Next time I come back to Washington,
It's really
I'm
good.
the
I'm
trek
excited
out.
to
you
see
went
what
on
you guys.
quite the pizza tour in New York too. I was following along with that.
It was there's some good pizza in New York. Turns out.
I used to live in Michigan too, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Detroit style pizza. I'm
Let me show
excited to
you-
see what you do with your outdoor area too by the time you get to like the summertime and you have like
I don't know if you saw this
potential.
video. Amster posted this saying, if you start doing delivery, you have to hire this guy. I don't know if are you
Oh, yeah.
able to see the screen right now, Mark?
Yeah.
This is
Have
a
you seen
potential.
this guy deliver? This guy has pizza experience, dude.
This guy's like, there's no way.
The backside of that thing isn't even high enough.
The craziest part about this too is like, I was expecting like this guy to like, oh, that's an impressive amount of pizza to fit in a car. This guy doesn't need a car work together.
What's up, guys? What's up? Oh.
Damn. That almost feels like a joke amount of pizza. Like, who the fuck-
And they're all playing in the same place.
Could you fill an order like that, Mark? Like, would it all be hot at the same time? How the fuck are you doing this?
Yeah, I don't know how they do that, honestly. Like, that's gotta be
Dude,
really
I've been
hard. You'd have to have way
watching.
more.
There's
ovens. Like, our oven capacity, we could probably cook about 10 pizzas at a time. If you were to load them all up, maybe 12. But
That's like 40 in this video, right? I mean,
I don't know how you
let's
do
say
that
30.
at the same time.
Do you have
What?
like a heat lamp area?
Like a heat lamp or something?
Yeah, like
Whenever
a
we worked
place
at
to
Papa
keep
John's,
shit
when
warm?
people
I
like ordered
guess.
stuff to go, there's like a section where there's a heat lamp, and you just like stored the pizzas under the heat lamp so they stayed warm until people picked them up.
No, we have those like hot bags though, so we use those hot bags to
Oh,
kind of
that'll
keep
help.
them
Okay.
warm. Yeah, but yeah, we haven't gotten snobby. No, like we still do like substitutions and like half and half pizzas, and if people want to build their own pizza, they can do that. I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say that like Chris in the kitchen would grumble a little bit, like who the fuck's doing this extra cheese, extra sauce, triple sausage bullshit? But he'll make it if you pay for it.
Interesting.
What I learned from working at a pizza restaurant is like you think extra ingredients are going to make it better. But there's like a reason the amount of ingredients go on. Like when you do too much cheese, then it becomes greasy and like doesn't cook right. And like I feel like
Yes,
don't
and that's
want.
exactly his reasoning, particularly with a dough like this. That's a very specific process, and it's very like specifically curated to be like, you know, to cook in a certain way that like he tops it very deliberately to make it so it cooks right. And so when people do extra cheese, it adds too much moisture, and then in the bottom won't crisp up right, or the sauce doesn't cook through enough. So then you kind of have like a little layer of uncooked dough between the layer of the sauce and the bottom of the
Oof.
pizza. It's called like the gum line. And so all those little pieces make it so like you think extra cheese is great, but like it just makes the pizza.
It actually
not
makes
what
it a
it's
worse
designed to
pizza
be.
experience. Like,
Yeah,
so I thought it. What do you think though, Mark? Would you hire this guy?
I mean that's pretty efficient, I gotta say.
It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. He's riding a one wheel. Like
Unbelievable.
of the vehicles you could be riding, that's like the sketchiest thing.
I know it's really just doing it all in hard mode.
I like how he's like a little fucking flag, like the giant pizza thing on his back isn't going to be more apparent than the flag. There he
You gotta
goes.
let people know.
We also found the follow-up video of him like arriving at the person's house. Like this was such a spectacle that like anybody that saw him like took out their phone and recorded it from multiple angles.
But yeah, Detroit style is like it's like kind of like a
Squares.
French bread pizza almost. Like it's not quite a full deep dish. It's just like a thicker, like kind of pan pizza.
Yeah,
You,
it's
like,
a
cook it in,
lot
like,
of
a
dough. It's a
baking
lot of
dish.
bread.
And then they usually put like dollops of sauce on top, and then they'll do Parmesan around the edges. And so the idea is that like you have this Parmesan wrapped around the edge, and as the pizza cooks, the fat from the cheese will like kind of soak in and then crisp up the bottom from the oil and fats from the cheese
Okay.
melting.
I
So you
mean,
kind of get this crispy,
It does have
fluffy,
a
like,
crispy. I do agree. It does
Yeah.
have like this crispy candied kind of like outside. That
yeah,
I
so
did
it has
like.
like the
Yeah.
candied edges
That's
with like a crisp bottom, but like a fluffy big crumb on the inside. Yeah.
Goat cheese and pesto, like sign me the fuck up for this pizza.
I like that one that you had, the pizza where there was grapes on it. Grape something. The grapist pizza or something like that. You called it.
That sounds way wrong when you say that. It's a great
No,
fan.
I don't recall that being a thing. You tried the pear fork and the Salamador
The pear.
Dolly.
That was it. Pear. It wasn't
Yeah.
pear. It wasn't grape. It was pear.
You really went off the deep end.
You called it the grapist, I think.
The grapest pizza it sounds like the worst title for a fucking pizza you could ever make.
It
So
said,
yeah, we
in quotes,
we
it said
got some
get graped.
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know. I was like, this is pretty good.
Oh, here's the
Mark.
Pear Force pizza. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
that
one.
one's prosciutto, gorgonzola, fresh pear, and basil, and there's some garlic on there as well. But yeah, we had some food photographers come in, and they did a really great job.
God, this looks good too. These pictures are great. I'm salivating. I'm hungry.
Yeah, pears in the fruit. Yes, so we just thinly slice it so it kind of crisps up nice or cooks through well. But I know it sounds weird, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about pear on a pizza, but it was very good.
Alcy also said earlier, in New York and New Jersey, they throw the pizza in the box and they throw the box on top of the pizza oven, and that's what keeps it warm.
They're crazy over there.
It's cooked with it, so we thinly slice it so it cooks through, but it cooks with the pizza, so it still has a little bit of chew to it, but not like it's not like soggy or anything.
I like your use of cheeses like gorgonzola too. Like that's very like I feel like when you get like a pear salad, that's like the type of cheese you're gonna find in there.
Dude, a big blue cheese fan. I like the funky cheeses. They add like an extra little punch of salt to it, and I don't know. I feel like it and when you get it cooked up in the oven, it just gives like a good smell to it too when you have gorgon there. So yeah, huge fan.
You also have feta on this one with the Kalamata olives, kind of like a Greek style pizza, and then you had goat cheese on this pesto one. So you got funky cheeses on a lot of your, or at least maybe
French
not funky, but not just mozzarella on all of them.
I love ricotta.
Yeah,
on a pizza.
yeah.
Good
Yeah, so
move.
we do like classic stuff too. So it's not like you have to get the specialties. I think some places are like, pizza Nazis about it, but
So you can build your own pizza, right? Like you can just order.
yeah, you
whatever
can
topping.
build whatever the hell you wanted. So
I do feel
that's
like
what's funny. It's like we have all these curated specials, but then people order the Supreme a lot because they just know what it is.
the older I get, the more I've been into like. So when I was younger, I was definitely like, I'm just going to order the thing I want and order the same thing at every restaurant. But like, especially like with traveling with my parents and stuff, I'm always like, what is this place known for? Or like look up on Yelp and like, what's like the regional thing? And I like trying things that like I don't necessarily have ever tried or know I would like. But it's like that's sort of like I feel like the people making it know what the best thing is, and like they have their own specialties.
Dude, these
and,
things
like,
will not stay in my ear. One sec.
So yeah, like I'm definitely more into trying new stuff now, and like I went to a restaurant with my dad, and there's like they're known for it's like a Japanese Italian place, and they're known for like an uni pasta where they put like sea urchin into the pasta sauce, and I was like, I want to try that. I've never fucking tried that before. My dad just got like a bolognese, and I'm like, I feel like you can get a bolognese at any Italian restaurant. If you're gonna go to the Japanese Italian restaurant, get the friggin' uni pasta sauce because that's gonna be something. It's gonna be a unique
There's a place
experience.
in Seattle that does like Shota. You watch Top Chef, right, Lou?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Shota. He was like 2 years ago or something like that. He has a place in Capitol Hill that's like kind of it's like a Japanese like fried chicken spot, which is really sick. And anyway, he opened a place in Seattle that does Detroit style, but it's like all like kind of Japanese flavors. So they'll put like short rib on there and like kimchi
Oh,
and
wow.
shit. Well, I guess kimchi's Korean, but still like a lot of like Asian flavors and stuff. And it's really sweet. I've been meaning to go next time I'm back home.
I'm here for that, dude. That sounds
What
good.
is this, Bob? There's a place with vegan pizza where I'm from, and the sauce is really thick and holds the toppings. Do you eat there though? Because aren't you lactose intolerant? I feel like you gotta have
Maybe
cheese
it's
on your
vegan
pizza.
cheese.
What do you think about vegan pizza, Mark? Do you make vegan pizza? Would you make vegan pizza?
I
Like, so
mean,
get the
there's
fuck
like
outta here.
vegan. I mean, technically, there's no dairy. Some people use butter in their dough recipes. We use oil, but yeah, like no cheese, or there's like vegan cheese alternatives. I mean, if that's what you're into, I mean, I don't think if you choose to be vegan, you shouldn't enjoy bread with stuff. But those vegan cheeses leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah,
I
at that
don't like
point,
vegan cheese.
if you are going to have a like he's saying they don't do vegan cheese, that the sauce is thick and replaces the cheese. If you're going to do a vegan pizza, I think that's the way to do it. Like the vegan cheese just ruins everything. Like, just have sauce, good toppings. I feel like the vegan people that are like vegan cheese really isn't that bad. Like it's gotten a lot better. It's like you haven't eaten real cheese in 7 years. Like a fucking like the worst bag of cheddar cheese, like the fucking Kroger
Yeah.
super cheap shredded shitty quality cheddar cheese kicks the shit out of like the finest fucking vegan cheese that I've had. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean, I've had like vegan finer cheeses. Like there was like a vegan brie I tried, and that was actually really good. But generally, like vegan cheese on like a vegan cheeseburger, that fucking sucks. Like keep that shit off. I'd eat the vegan burger without the vegan cheese. Like it's so bad. But like I have tried. There's like weird like imitation for like high end cheeses that I forget someone had on like a charcuterie board, and that was actually pretty good. I don't know. Vegan food can be really good. It's just that a lot of the like vegan cheese I've had is just not. I don't know. When you call something cheese, like it has this like expectation built in because cheese, has a kind of base flavor.
I think
So
I
if
don't
they
know. I
just
don't have a
called it,
problem with vegan
like,
food or
just-
even vegetarian food. I think
Don't call
other
it
than
cheese,
maybe
it's
like
like
Impossible
nothing.
meat, I just think most of the imitation stuff is not good. Like there's plenty of good vegetarian dishes that like also
Yeah.
like if you can't do dairy, like Asian people can't do dairy altogether. There's so much cuisine that doesn't use dairy that's delicious without dairy. Like just eat that shit. Like don't try to make like
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese vegan. It's like the whole
I
fucking thing
totally
is
agree with
cheese.
Bob too, where it's like when vegan food's trying to be something not vegan is weird to me. That's like, oh, it's vegan meat.
That's what
It's
I'm saying. Like
well,
don't imitate.
meat's
Like
Yeah, it's
not
like a
vegan.
marketing ploy rather than trying to make good food.
Yeah. Meat's not vegan. Why don't you just call it? It's a mushroom patty.
Yeah, think of
Like I really like
Japanese
the
food.
jackfruit. Have you had like the jackfruit? Like I guess pulled pork or whatever would be like a similar thing. But like, why not just be like pulled jackfruit? And I don't know. It tastes the
I say
jackfruit. I'm
go
not
for
mad at. It
like
tastes just like pork.
go to Thai food, Japanese food, Chinese food, like Indian
Yeah.
food doesn't really use a lot of cheese. Like there's so many great cuisines that don't use a ton of cheese. And even like Mexican food, some Mexican food does use cream and cheese, but like there's still a lot of good Mexican food you can eat without the cheese and the cream. Like there's so many good dishes you can make that like trying to just like make a cheese-based dish and try to make that vegan, I think that's where people fall short. But I will say Impossible
Yeah.
burgers are pretty fucking good. Like Impossible Meat's the one where I'm like, okay, you guys kind of made this shit taste pretty decent.
Man, I went to this place. I went to Modern Times, and I'm not trying to like trash everything. I went to Modern Times in Portland, and it's
Yeah.
like a brewery, and they do only like meat alternatives and like vegan stuff. They don't really like advertise it super like we're the vegan spots. Like, oh, here's a breakfast burrito and like a biscuits and gravy, and you can get it here, and it uses all vegan ingredients. And I didn't like. I don't think they're trying to like bait and switch or anything, but like I ate it and it was delicious, and I had no idea it was all Impossible Meat until later, and it was all like
Yeah.
vegan egg alternative and vegan sausage, and all the gravy was dairy free and stuff, and it was phenomenal, so good. But man,
Fuck
it
yeah.
had destroyed my stomach. Like,
Oh really?
body
Oh
is not used to like I'm used to the heavy processed stuff. I eat cheese all the time, dude. And
Yeah.
like I loved it. It was so delicious, but man, I was shitting my brains out for like a day straight. So I don't know if it's
Jeez.
just like it's just my body's not used to that stuff, and it was just I like ate too much
Like I
of it
need
and
meat.
overloaded it. But it was kind of alarming. I was like, I don't know why I'm reacting to this.
That's funny.
Okay, Bob makes a good point. So maybe all the extra nutrients that are in that stuff that my body's not used to in that quantity.
Yeah, maybe.
Adequate Mass says, ever thought about an elote pizza? That'd be interesting, like a corn pizza.
Love elote, and same thing. Like a lot of big Hispanic population out here, so
That's a good contender.
I'm into that.
It's dough
Oh,
time.
is the dough
Yeah.
finished mixing?
So we mix it just to incorporate everything, and then we let it sit for like about 25-30 minutes, so like the water can absorb and the dough can kind of relax, and then we
Oh.
mix it again. Like, so it's kind of like the first stage is just to incorporate the ingredients. Then we do that for like, 10 minutes, and then we let it rest, let the water absorb.
Like
and
they
then
say
mix
on the
it
cooking
again.
show, it's like let them get to know each other.
Sure. And then the last piece is like the knead stage. So this is now that it's all rested and incorporated, you do like another knead to kind of activate the gluten in there. And then we take it and put it in the fridge and put it in those dough boxes and then do the 24-hour full ferment.
Damn, that's pretty involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not that complex a recipe. There's nothing weird in there that no one else puts in pizza dough. I think the key that makes it really good is the sourdough yeast culture instead of using active dry yeast, and just the attention to detail at every step of the process to make sure the dough is in its optimal form at every piece. Because even when we ball it too, you're very careful on how you ball it so you don't overwork it, or you don't you stretch the skin in the right way so it sits well in the ball form. And even when we take it out to cook it, you have to be a little delicate with when you pull it out and how you stretch it. So it's those pieces that I think kind of takes to the next level.
Yeah. Are you or is your partner more like stickler about like when people are stretching it? It's just like, that's not how you do it. It's like, no, you're stretching it wrong.
But you'll see, like, now it'll look like super silky smooth.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's like a pillow.
that's a satisfying look.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of when you do that resting stage to make sure the water absorbs right. I think that's what is really the key to make sure that knead is nice and silky.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, Chris is a pretty chill dude. I mean, he just really likes to make food. He's been in the restaurant industry a long time too. He's a very chill guy. So I don't think he's quite the kitchen
Is he the
Nazi
one?
by any
Is he the one tossing the dough, or do you toss the dough, or do you both do it, or how does that work?
So
Yeah,
basically, the
very
way we've
close.
been doing it is like, so myself, Chris, and his wife all in the business together, and he kind of does the kitchen, and then she bartends and I expedite. So Chris and his brother will like Chris will make the pizzas, his brother cooks them. I cut and box them or deliver them and kind of run the pace as far as how the food comes out. And then his wife bartends, and then I can kind of float. If she needs help in the front, I can do that. If he needs help in the kitchen, I can do that. So I'm the in between.
You're like the head of the brigade in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, so I think we didn't quite draw it up that way, but we all just kind of fell into the roles, and then it just kind of works, and it makes for a nice, clean service. So honestly, we just all do what we got to do to make it work.
Yeah. Do you call each other chef?
No,
Yes, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
dude, I love The Bear though. That's such a good show.
Yeah. Season 2 is super good. Like season 1 was really good, and I was like, "There's no way season 2 is gonna be as good." It was.
Yeah, so we have like 3 employees. So like Chris's brother, we have a gal who helps us a few days a week take orders and kind of work front of house, and we have someone who's like a pantry prep cook. So it's this really small operation. So in that same vein, we just gear up. We see a line out the door. We get bombarded for like 3 hours straight. We just put our heads down and knock it out, close down shop and do it again. So it's kind of nice because we're only open 5 to 9 that we can kind of show up around noon, get everything all prepped and ready, take our time, and then open up at 5, knock it out, make the money we need to make, and then close the doors, and we're home by 10. So it's not exactly what we initially drew up, but it works pretty well for now. I think some business owners will be like working 14-hour days from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I work every day, and I probably put in about 55-hour weeks, but certainly in the grand scheme of a new restaurant, it's a pretty nice schedule.
Yeah, definitely. I also like your like the hours. It's good that it's not like the goal isn't to be like how can we maximize the profit. It's more like, you're trying to just run a restaurant. It's not about like expanding rapidly and whatever. Like you don't have to. You can
Yeah,
just
I
do it
mean,
your
I
own
think
way since it's your operation.
yeah, because like you could sell more, but you may not make more money. I think that's the key
Yeah.
that people don't get. Is like we'll just sell more pizza. It's like, okay, well, we've maximized the amount of pizza we can make in this space. People don't believe me when I say that, but it's true. And then they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Oh, it
uh,
muted
uh,
for a second. It did. Never mind. It just cut out for a second.
I
Do you
think
sell
these
a
things
pizza?
are running out of battery.
Do you sell out every day? Yeah, right. I think yes.
Not every day, but for the first several weeks, yes, it was every single day. Now that we're like a few months in, it's like maybe a few days a week, like Friday, Saturday, sometimes Thursday.
So
So
what happens to
usually on the
dough
weekends,
on days where you don't sell out? What happens to the excess dough that didn't sell?
we can roll it over into the next day.
Oh, okay.
Do you then
It
just make
depends.
less, or
Yeah, I mean, so on the other days, like, we'll honestly, like, maybe if when we don't sell out, a lot of times we'll have like 3 left. So we'll just give it to our employees or something like that. Or, uh, we throw out a couple skins, but honestly, on the days we don't sell out, it's like maybe 3 to 5 pizzas. So, and then the other days, it's like we basically sell out right at the end of the night. And then on the weekends, we sell out in like an hour and a half. That's kind of the way it's been going. But the food waste is remarkably low.
That's
Do
awesome.
people hang out after the sellout? Like people to hang out like a bar, or do people just
Sometimes
fuck
I
off?
would like people to do it more. Some people just like they come out they come in here and we're like, hey, sorry, we were out of dough, but you could have a drink or a salad, and they're just like they just shuffle off. So I would like to build more of a bar program because we would like to just this to be a cool local bar in addition to a nice pizza restaurant. But I think it'll take some time to kind of build that clientele and
Yeah.
build that.
How
Uh,
about doing? You could do cookies, like Costco's doing those giant cookies now.
Yeah, that's true. We've been thinking about that.
You
Like
could
maybe we could do
probably
some
just
other.
you could probably just go to Costco and be like, I'd like to buy the cookie dough from your cookies in bulk, and I'm guaranteed they'll sell it to you. And you just put it in your freezer. If someone wants a dessert thing, it's like, I'll make a cookie. Toss it in your oven, done and done.
We do have some cribbage boards as far as adding board games and stuff. That would be kind of interesting, and that might build a little bit of a bar crowd, you know. But
You should get like Settlers of Catan, so people have to be there for fucking like 3 hours.
Yeah, but then you can't
Yeah.
clear them out. I don't know how much you want people to hang out because you sell out
I
so
know
much.
it's hard, you know. When it's busy, we want to flip it. When it's slow, when we're sold out, we want people to hang. So it's kind of hard to dial that in. But we've been thinking about doing maybe some like other hot appetizers or something like that. Like
I feel like
Yeah.
wings is. I don't know if you do wings, but wings is a
Wings.
pretty good.
KY
like,
wants pasta.
pizza.
I love pasta, but I don't think that's like a whole new thing. You need,
yeah,
like, a whole
because we
different
don't
type of-
have open burners. We only have the Type 2 hood for an oven, so it has to be cooked in an oven.
So it couldn't be
Oven
wings. I
pasta.
guess you could bake wings in an oven.
lasagna.
You
Maybe?
could, yeah. So
I think the way we did it
yeah.
at like Papa John's was they were pre-fried and then frozen, and then you're reheating the wings because we put the wings through the same conveyor belt pizza cooker as the pizzas. So I think the wings were like pre-fried and then frozen, and then you just basically reheat them in the oven.
Yeah, so like Chris and his wife were talking about doing like charcuterie boards and stuff like that. If we could do that late
yes.
night, or we could
That
do
feels
like
good for like you don't have to cook it, so it's pretty like
yeah, or do like dips or something like that, where we could do like a spinach dip or something and just chuck it in the oven for those times that we sell out. So it wasn't quite something we had anticipated being a thing. So we're kind of
The charcuterie board's a great idea because that's basically just pizza toppings on a board.
yeah, kind of yeah.
Like if you run out of dough, it's just like I could put it on a charcuterie board for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not a bad item to add.
I'm the KY said the same thing for him. He said pasta's good because it's just all the toppings can be reused from the pizza.
Yeah.
It's you can use the
That's
same
true, yeah.
tomato
Pasta
sauce.
has
You
that
can
same-
use like the meats and stuff.
That's true.
Probably why like Domino's has all those.
Wait, you could do like subs, like baked subs, like sandwiches, where you just like put similar pasta top. Pizza
Honestly, I
toppings
was
on them
thinking
and
about it. I was
bake
like, man, I wish Quiznos would come back and like
Yeah,
now
bake
that
those
Quiznos
subs.
out of business, just basically be Quiznos, but better.
Yeah, you could do your own version of like, we love these subs, but maybe like a regal version of it.
We love these subs!
Yeah. I
Cause
love
they
this.
are good to us! The Quiznos subs!
God, it's so
They are tasty, they are crunchy, they are warm because they toasted! They got a pepper bar!
Quiznos new Santa Fe Trio subs with
I
smoke.
think Quiznos is back. I don't think it's like everywhere, but they did like a recent campaign with those same things.
yeah. I'm surprised Paul hasn't done like a sketch or something based on the We Love These Subs.
We love the subs
Right.
because they are good to us.
That might be a good one for a blend.
Meat Puppet is asking, are the profit margins pretty good on beers and mixed drinks? I think drinks are notoriously a great profit margin for bars.
Yeah, when you're doing cocktails and spirits, that's probably the best margin. Generally, your margins are better in the bar than they are in the kitchen, but pizza specifically is a pretty high margin thing, just because it's like a very efficient kind of business model. But yeah, I would say of the bar stuff, probably drinks are the best. Like, so wine probably being like spirits being the best margin, wine being the next, and beer being the.
How often do people order wine at a? Do you even have wine? I feel like that's a weird thing to order at pizza.
We do wine by the glass, yeah.
Yeah, wine could be a good pairing with those artisan slices or pizzas. You don't do pizza by the
Yeah.
slice. But
Yeah, so it's not like we're going like full pairings here. Like, oh yes, the pear force really goes well with a nice Sauv Blanc. But you know, there's wine drinkers. It's just what people prefer to drink too. Sometimes, you know.
I feel like
what are you
wine
doing
isn't
right now? Are you, like,
wine isn't
getting
refreshing. And
individual
like when I'm
kind
eating
of
a heavy
dough?
pizza, I want like a nice, refreshing, crisp beer.
Yeah, I think pizza and beer is probably the best.
What's the move right now? What are you doing here? Are you eyeballing this, or is this also being weighed out?
So this is like the bulk ferment cycle. So I'm just getting this out of the mixer by kind of cutting it off and putting like little chunks in these dough boxes. And so just gives it time for it to kind of do that first ferment cycle for a day. The gluten kind of develops, and the dough can kind of just rest in a bulk form. And then we portion it in, mediums and larges and breadsticks and stuff. And then in the ball form, it rests again. And then the gluten can kind of develop and relax into that ball form, so that when we stretch it, we're not agitating the gluten so much it becomes chewy.
I see. Science.
So
That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's kind of just letting. It's such like a
they're not
living organism, so you just really want that. And part of the ferment, like being in the fridge, is just the yeast activity is in here. So like the sourdough is just kind of the activity that makes this bread want to rise.
Yeah.
And so when it's at room temperature, it moves really fast. And then they'll get so then the yeast activity will die out if you just let it go and don't cook it. So you put it in the fridge to kind of slow that yeast activity, so that it develops. The yeast continues to kind of create some of the bubbling and rise in the dough, but slow it down enough that it doesn't die. So that's why you put it in the fridge for a bit, and the longer we put it in the fridge, the more that kind of low and slow yeast activity can really go.
I see. And
Does it
never,
die at
like,
room
will die
temperature?
out.
Eventually, yeah.
It's the opposite when I was making mead. When you're making mead, when you left it at room temperature, the yeast would continue to ferment, and then you would fridge it to kill the yeast. But I'm sure there are different types of yeast.
Yeah. So yeah, the fridge temperature just kind of slows it down. It doesn't kill it, but it just like kind of slows it down that it's moving, but at a much slower pace.
Now, Quim asks if someone needs to buy Mark an apron with a big pair of tits on it. Did you wear an apron with tits on it?
Apron with what on it?
Tits.
That would be funny. We're in the kitchen doing that. Yeah, we're kind of going for this rock and roll pizza vibe. Like, technically, we're like family friendly, but we're really not optimized for you to bring like your whole clan of kids here. We're more just like kind of a cool little pizzeria. We show sports. We have cool cocktails. You can get this cool artisan craft product. We got like, band posters and weird shit on the walls.
Dude, it looks like your business partner's in the chat too, and he's saying that you're doing it wrong. He's like, he's freaking out. He's like, Mark, you're fucking up the dough. Like, that's not how you do it.
It seems to resonate with people, although sometimes like families come in, it's like, yeah, there's like 12 of us and like my 5 kids. It's like, yeah, we're just like really not, we can't do that. So
I mean, it's not that big of a floor.
You should start getting like real rude to those people. Just be like, go to McDonald's, you fucking filthy animals.
So I think the people that like are just like, yeah, I come in, it's like, it's not going to be, 20 minutes of your money back like Domino's. It's like a cool craft product. I can wait here. I can grab a beer. I can get some cool cocktails. And And so for those people, they really get it. But it is kind of a unusual concept because I think some people are like, well, just sell more. Just sell more. Isn't that what your business does? If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. So
Yeah, and there's like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people do like, remember like round table pizza after fucking like Pee-wee soccer games. You bring the whole fucking team. So I feel like some people are used to like sit down pizza restaurants where you can have whole parties and like large amounts of children in there. So they're probably expecting that, and then not used to a more upscale experience.
How many
yeah, I don't think
pizzas? How many pizzas worth of dough is fitting on each one of these trays that you're loading up here?
Is each one of those balls
so-
of pizza?
not really. This is just kind of, we're just cutting them in handfuls so that they have room to expand in the box because they'll naturally kind of splay out. And so you want to give that room to develop and kind of blob out so that the yeast and the gluten can really develop unimpeded. So this is just kind of taking chunks of it and giving it space to kind of splay out. And then
But
tomorrow,
how many pizzas would that amount of dough you think like roughly make once it's
this
like?
is 90 pounds of dough, so like probably about like 70 pizzas.
Oh, I meant per tray.
Oh, per tray, I mean,
like
loosely like 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to kind of understand your space limitations.
Yeah, it's largely the fridge limitations. I mean, like
Yeah.
we do multiple batches of dough in this mixer, but we don't have the room for it because you have
To let it go for a couple days.
you have
Yeah,
2 stacks of these at any given time. You have one on the first day ferment and the second on the second day ferment. So
Damn.
we would basically have 4 of these at any given time to double our capacity, and our walk-in cooler can't fit that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And your cooler looks pretty big too. It's not like you have some like tiny little.
Yeah, it's 6x8, but you know,
That
we
looks
got to keep all the toppings. We got to store all the kegs. We got to store beer in there.
Yeah, I feel like that's about as big as it's gonna get for the space you have too. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and on
Oh, Mark got muted. Maybe your batteries ran out.
Oh yeah, Mark might be muted or something. He muted himself. You're right.
He's
His
not.
battery's probably ran out.
He's not at his computer, so I'm guessing that his batteries died. Bob saying if the dough came alive, you think you could take it in a fight? Do you think it'd be like the Marshmallow Man or whatever in Ghostbusters?
He did say it was like 90 pounds of dough, and then they have 2 stacks of that at once. So that's like a 200-pound dough monster. That would probably give Mark a run for his money, dude. Like,
Oh, Mark said my headphones died. Yeah, we expected that.
yeah, that's a.
I don't care. I said, isn't as cold as balls there? Just put a room with an open window. I feel like that'd work during the winter, but I don't think
Yeah,
in the summer.
that
That's
doesn't.
not
It doesn't scale into the summertime.
It does actually get kind of warm in Wenatchee in the summer.
So my
Yeah.
headphones died. Do you guys get too much ambient noise if I just use the laptop?
I mean, that's
No,
fine.
right-
We just can't
right
hear
now
you
it
when you walk
sounds
away
like
from
you're
it, but
Okay, I'll just come over here to talk.
we're good at. I can run a grubfish while you're working too.
Yeah. Oh, did you? What did you think? Do you think you could take the dough monster if it came alive? Because you said it was like 90 pounds, and then you said you have 2 stacks, so that's like 200 pounds ish. You know, like 180 pounds of dough, right? You think you could take a 180-pound dough monster that came alive, Ghostbuster style?
You know, I'm not sure. It depends on what I have at my disposal here.
Yeah. Do you get a pizza slicer? Could you fight it with it? Yeah, yeah.
Oh
How's
no,
that
we
flexible
should have
markets?
added the "you have no pizza experience" as a as an audio cue that people could trigger to spam at Mark.
I can.
Although
spam
we are
it.
watching Mark do some pizza experience here.
Papa John.
Yeah, look at all those doughs.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Did it play? I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I heard we'll do it live.
He has no pizza
That's not-
experience.
There it is.
There we go.
I love pizza and I love people. Pizza is actually very nutritious. He's never been in the pizza category. He has no pizza experience.
That's too
Yeah,
funny.
this is cool. It's been cool seeing Mark's operation.
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
Thanks everybody for joining us for this kind of unconventional stream for our Pizza Monday. But I've been wanting to see this just personally for a while. So this is
It's called
cool for me.
the pizza experience.
Yeah. Now you all have some pizza experience. You've been inside the pizza category.
Yeah, this.
All right.
Change us to in Twitch. Change us to the pizza category.
I don't know if that's a thing. We're just chatting. Let's run a grubfish though while Mark's working on cutting dough. Yeah, I worked at Papa John's, so I do have some pizza experience, but we never like made dough fresh there. The dough is just like mailed in and frozen, and you'd like open it in the cooler, and it was already like pre-formed into balls and stuff. So I haven't seen this process of the pizza creation. We also it was my job to open up the tomato sauce every day. They had these massive cans that you would like just cut the top, then you flip it upside down and let it drain into like a vat of tomato sauce.
Oh yeah, that's wild.
The part that I always thought was gross was the thin crust pizza, because we did get mailed in new fresh crust like every day, but the thin crust would be sitting in there for weeks. And they're just like, how is this like? How is this still good to eat? Like they're just sitting, not made fresh, like pre-made. Like we would actually roll the pizzas or whatever, toss the pizzas for the non-thin crust, but the thin crust was the crust was already totally pre-made in the shape of a pizza, and it was just sitting in a stack in our cooler. People didn't order them as often, so they would sit in there for a while.
Yeah. Crazy.
Papa John's, I do think, has decent pizza though, as far as like, I think it's at least on par with Domino's and Pizza Hut. I think it's slightly better, but yeah, I don't know. After working there, I got pretty sick of it. Like making pizza, the smell that would emanate in my fingernails afterwards, you can't wash the smell of pizza ingredients off your hands. Like that shit just fucking is baked into your hands. Like it would smell for hours and hours. Like, I don't know. It was not a... Also gets really sweaty in there. Like it would get hot as shit because there wasn't air conditioning, I don't think. Or if there was, like the pizza ovens just like got rid of the air conditioning. So when you're cooking pizzas in the summer, it's just like the whole building was an oven, and it's just smelly pizza oven. But
That's kind of wild.
I don't mind I like what Mark's doing as far as like I'm not good at tossing pizza. It stresses me out. I make shitty pizzas. But I would do the toppings. Usually there's another guy to toss the pizza, and then I'd put on the toppings. But I did the expediting and also the ordering. Is like I would take the phone orders, I'd run the point of sales, and then I would take the pizzas out of there's like a conveyor belt. It was like time to cook the pizzas perfectly. You throw it on one side, and then it's just constantly moving. And then you would cut the pizzas and then throw them under the heat lamp until people picked them up. But my job was the like expediting, slicing, taking the orders, and making sure that people got the right orders and paid for it. So who knows? Maybe if Mark expands one day, I can move back to Washington and become his cashier.
Expands.
10 years is a lot of pizza experience. Mark,
Yeah, it is.
Mark has like got to have a good amount because he worked at I think it was in like Redmond or something. He worked at a pizza restaurant for quite some time. Zeke's, I think it was called. Zeke's Pizza. Yeah, cashier /
Oh, that's
boom
right.
guy. Yeah, if you need ASMR sounds for social media, I can record those. All right, let's run this grubfish. I don't know where. I think Ludi sent us some stuff to give away.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Black Fang. It's called Virgin Destroyer. I don't know if this is safe to show, so I'm just gonna assume it isn't. But We will give out a Virgin Destroyer from the Lude Momoko collection, made by our friend Blackfang. He started streaming, so check out his streams, and you can earn points, I think, to redeem NFTs through his stream, right? Mark, you worked at Zeke's, right? Wasn't that a thing?
I did, yeah.
Is that where you got most of your pizza experience?
Yeah, it was the only pizza experience I had. So I worked at Zeke's as like a line cook and a delivery driver for probably 4 or 5 years. That's how I know my business partner. That was like 10 years ago, though. So I've bartended most of the time since. And Chris as well. But, you know, a lot of it was just kind of self-taught stuff, particularly what he was doing, like just reading books, looking at forums. Like, for example, like this thing, we have all the dough kind of off stack like this. We just started doing that last week because like the water in the dough was starting to leach out a little bit after one day in the fridge. And so all that hydration we wanted in the dough wasn't mixing in and staying there. So it was getting like either too hot or too cold because we were putting it in the fridge right away. So he just reads all these deep cut pizza forums and stuff like that, and then found like one guy that had mentioned some similar, very specific problem to this. And then we tried kind of airing out the dough for like exactly 1 hour so that it's just a little extra time for the water to absorb, and then put it in the fridge, and the dough comes out, you know, just that much better the next day. So at this point, it's little tinkering, very specific things that you don't find in a book. It's just you find some other person that can maybe point you in the right direction. But a lot of the credit goes to my business partner. He just basically religiously reads everything he can read about different dough styles and then just kind of practices with it.
Cool is that dedication, because I mean, you guys are already selling out. It's not like people don't like the product. So like trying to improve a product that's already like people like that's some serious dedication to the craft. I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, we nailed it. Let's just copy this and phone it in from now on.
Yeah, it's funny too, because he's not like, he doesn't really want to talk to people. So people are like, man, oh my God, this dough, this pizza, it's just blowing my mind. And then, you know, he just doesn't really want to like, there could be a Netflix crew in here and he would probably walk into his truck and drive away.
I guess that makes you guys good business partners, because I feel like you're a pretty sociable person from all your bartending.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I kind of do a lot of the talking pieces, and he can just focus on making good food, and then he does his thing, and then, you know, he's like, all right, well, if someone wants to like talk to us, then you just do that. So it works.
It's like the game I was playing, Dave the Diver. There's a sushi chef at your restaurant, and he's fucking super rude to everyone and like super focused on the craft, and all he cares about is the art of making the sushi. I feel like that's like your business partner. He's all about the art of the craft, but he doesn't want to deal with like the.
He's the sushi samurai.
Sushi samurai. All right, let's do this
The worst
giveaway.
part about this exercise is cleaning the mixer. This is the real annoying part.
How do you do it? Just with water and soap, or do you have special?
Yeah, we just use a little bit of vinegar and water, and then you kind of can scrape off all the little excess pieces. So it's just kind of tedious. It's like a very zen process.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
All right, I'm gonna run a grub fish really quick. I don't know why my volume is so low. Like I feel like for you guys, you can probably hear this pretty loudly, but for me, I can't hear anything.
I can hear it all right. It's not like crazy loud.
I think I might have turned down the volume of this like browser. Pizza. All this pizza talk is making me just want to go get a pizza.
Yeah, the best pizza around here that I would recommend you get is Pablitas, probably. Mark had that too when he came.
Is that the Mexican one with like the Mexican meats on it?
Yeah, with like that green sauce on it, crack sauce.
Oh yeah, I tried that when I came to visit you guys. That was good.
Yeah, that was really good.
I want to try that Italian restaurant that the H3 podcast recommended. Like one of their crew members said that's the best pizza in LA, and it's like 2 blocks from us. You say Sbarro's?
Yeah, Sbarro's. It's at the mall.
No, the place where we went with my dad like the first night he was in town.
Oh
that.
yeah, I should have gotten pizza. I didn't know it was a pizza place.
I know it was a pizza. I didn't even know they had pizza. I mean, I'm sure it was on the menu, but according to Zach from the H3 podcast, their sound guy, that's his favorite pizza in LA. And it's so close to us, I feel like I have to try it at least once. Meat Puppet, congratulations.
You can probably scooter over there, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to carry the pizza on a scooter. I'm not that guy in that video, but
Oh, just eat it there. I meant.
I'm not going to go eat a whole pizza by myself at a Italian restaurant. I feel like that's sad.
You have to get that backpack the other guy had on his one wheel. Then you can bring it back easy.
I feel like I would drive and then bring it back and eat it here. I don't know. It's close enough that it's not like the pizza's going to get cold and the time it takes to get from here to there. It's like a couple of blocks from us. I wish I knew what this looked like. Just the Virgin Destroyer sounds like it's going to be not safe for work to show off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blackfang does like live drawing on stream. So if you're into their artwork, they do live streams where you can see how they create the artwork live, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's definitely not super safe for work.
We've also been talking about behind the scenes potentially doing a collab, so may or may not happen. Keep your eyes out in the future for a Neon Momoko, maybe. All right, I'm opening up another forum. So !Neon if you'd like to join. Still got Mark the Narc stickers if anybody wants them. And we're shipping ET stickers on Friday. I like this artwork, even though it's one of our early ones. ET version.
I do too. Actually, I scoop a few of these so I can get myself a sparkle one.
We ship internationally for $3, so anywhere in the world. We also do like a VIRL thing. If you look at the announcements in our Discord, if you have our NFTs, you can blend our NFTs into Neon Blend tokens, and 2 of those will get you a sticker where we pay for the shipping. So if you're not into the fiat thing and you want to spend your wax and you have wax that you want to try to get a sticker with, we have 18 available still for those. Only 2 people have participated in the VIRL, so we've got 18 left if you want to trade Neon for stickers.
Oh yeah.
See if we can spy and Mark a little bit more. Oh yeah, he's getting in there with the vinegar.
I love pizza and I love people.
I love people. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna stream super long today. I know Mark has some like he says he has to do payroll and like accounting stuff. So probably after this we'll probably wrap it up. We'll do one last giveaway. Thanks everybody for joining. It's been a fun pizza experience. I learned a lot, and it really just makes me want to eat Mark's pizza, even though I'm too far away. But definitely we'll make the trip there next time back in Washington.
It's really, really good.
I'll have to convince my parents to either let me drive their car or to go with you. Did you stay overnight? Like, what was your thing? Just a day trip and then you drove back?
I left the same night. Oh, I drove up and then drove back. It's
What,
like
a 2-3 hour drive.
Yeah, like
Not that bad.
closer to 3 than 2, but it's still like, you know, we left at like 11 or something, or noonish or something, and got there at like 3-4. The place opens at 5, so we stopped by for a second before it opened, and then we went out and checked out the town. We came back to watch it open just because there was like a bunch of people like rushing the place, like Mark said, and I wanted to see that. But then we left and like bounced around until we came back like a couple hours later and ate there after the initial rush had died down a little bit.
You weren't afraid that he was going to run out of pizza for you?
It was also a weekday, I guess. And we could see the crowd was like, it was like impressive for opening rush, but it wasn't like a line around the block.
I feel like that's the pro tip for if you are going to visit Mark. The weekend he sells out always, so weekdays are probably safer if you're trying to.
Yeah, but then we like hung out afterwards. Like we hung out at the restaurant, ate pizza, and then Paul and I went and like went up the street again, checked out some more bars, and then Mark met us at like this gaming bar We played some games and hung out there for a bit, and then went back to Mark's place for a while, hung out there, and then we just like drove out probably around like 1 a.m. or something, midnight, maybe, probably closer to midnight because Mark I think goes to bed around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. or something. But yeah, it was a pretty good like. You can definitely do that in a day trip, and then we ended up getting home at like 3:40, like 4 a.m. or something.
I
The
guess
drive
that's
back is super easy. No one's on the road.
3.5 hour train ride and only $35. Honestly,
Oh
that
yeah,
might be
the
what
train
I
is an
do.
option too.
I'd probably try to go like if I was gonna visit Mark, I think I'd try to go on like Sunday because then I could maybe hang out with him on Monday if he's not too busy.
Then you
Yeah,
got to get in
Fremant's
line though when the
super dope.
restaurant.
It's
you
like
get in line
a
when it opens.
you go through Stevens Pass, and so you basically take the train through like a mountainside. So it's actually a pretty fun train ride.
Oh yeah, you've done it a couple times, right?
Yeah, in the wintertime, I usually take the train to go visit my family because it's just the
pass
pass
fucking
is a little
sucks.
sketchy. Like
Yeah.
I have 4-wheel drive car, but it's just less hassle, and I can like eat on the way there, and it's just kind of simpler. So I enjoy it actually.
It's probably cheaper than getting like
Yeah.
snow tires
I
and shit.
would enjoy it
And honestly,
too.
the same I pay in gas. It's like a $50 ticket, versus like the probably $50 I'd spend in gas, where I don't have to like worry about it. It's kind of nice.
That's true. You definitely will spend that money in gas anyway. I drove in. My parents have like an SUV, like a BMW SUV that takes diesel, and diesel is fucking expensive. And that car gets like crap mileage compared to my like little sedan. That gas cost me probably like
Why do
$100.
why do they have a diesel SUV?
I don't know.
I feel like diesel is useful for like the one time where diesel is better than gas is like I guess diesel like is more effective for towing things. So if you have to tow heavy things, it doesn't take more. So like diesel, that's why trucks use diesel. It's like ends up being more efficient than running gas because gas is like less
Yeah.
efficient the heavier the stuff gets. So when I was looking into like getting touring rigs and stuff, like I think diesel is like an option for that if you're going to be towing like a whole trailer full of musical equipment and shit. But I feel like if you're
Yeah.
not doing that sort of shit, like there's no reason to have it. But
I guess it's definitely like a more off-roads mountain kind of vehicle, I guess. Than
are your parents
my-
really
my
driving
car.
off roads in the mountains?
They do a lot of skiing in winter's time, like sports.
Okay,
they
so it's
do
their like
drive a
ski
lot
travel
on it.
vehicle.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
they do a lot of that. But man, it makes gas pricey. Those fucking
Like here in
SUVs.
Los Angeles, where it fucking is always sunny. Besides last week where we had a apocalyptic rain, Noah's Ark
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah, that was fun. The rain. Hold on a second, I got.
Carsland is not Carstairs. I've never heard of either of those cities. That must be some Canada stuff. Gas got crazy expensive in Los Angeles like a year or two ago, or like last year. Not a year or two ago, like within the last 6 to 8 months. I think it was like $6-7 a gallon. Like I went to go visit my parents and like they got like an Airbnb in Santa Barbara, and it was expensive as shit driving there and back. Like it's like I will just stay at home if gas costs this much to go places. I think California was especially bad, so we have like extra taxes and stuff here. California is just expensive to live in. It's kind of a bummer in that sense. Pizza. I was telling people, Mark, that we'll probably wrap the stream pretty soon because I think you said you have like payroll stuff to do. That's probably not fun to do on stream.
Oh yeah, I already did the payroll today, but like this is kind of our only real day off.
Even on your day off, you're working. That's a independent business owner.
Yeah, it's more like a half day off. So we still have to make dough today for Wednesday, and then we get together, just kind of plan out the week, and then do some administrative stuff, and then I can take like a half day or whatever. So, but it's not too bad. The making the dough is just kind of I can put music on and drink beer while I do it. It's like a pretty chill thing for a day off.
I was
But-
thinking next time I come back to Washington, maybe I try to like train down on a Sunday. That way we can hang out on your half day off on Monday.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know when I'll be back next, but that sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah.
Meat Puppet says, "What kind of beer are you drinking?"
The Icicle Amber Ale. Icicles in Leavenworth, so they're amber.
Leavenworth is like a German style town, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it's like a town that used to just be kind of industrial because it was on this major train track. And then I think like in the 60s or something, they basically decommissioned the railroad that was going through there. So all the jobs that were related to that industry were gone. So then everyone got together and it's like, I guess what do we do now, guys? And then they were like, well, let's just be a tourist town for like, that looks like Germany and shit. And they're like, sweet, let's do it.
It's big on like, if you look up like Christmas towns for Christmas, like it's one of the big like touristy Christmas towns, right?
Yeah, there's millions of people that go through there. I think they just did like a Today Show segment there right around Christmas, as like one of the best Christmas towns or whatever. So it's like super popular. But yeah, it's funny, they just kind of pivoted. They're just like, all right, we'll just be a tourist place now. And it's this town of like 1,000 people with like millions of tourists that come through.
How far is that from Wenatchee? Like an hour?
Not even that, like 30 some odd minutes.
So did they deliver you the like kegs and stuff, or do you have to go pick it up?
They have a distributor, yeah.
And they just like, how often is that? Once a week, or how often do they go fill you back up?
So yeah, like a brewery of Icicle's size would sell to a distributor probably once a week, and then I would get a delivery from the distributor probably once a week as well.
Nice. Do you ever get to the point where like you need to replace it and there's a bunch of beer left, so you just drink a shit ton of beer because you're trying to get rid of it?
Yes. Yes.
I remember that used to be a thing when we had like keggers in college. You'd be like, you have the kegger, you sell your cups, and then the next day it's like, okay, well now we just need to get rid of this shit, and it just get fucking hammered with like 3 or 4 guys like trying to finish a keg.
Yeah, and you can like do specials and stuff if you're really trying to run through it. Like with a 4-tap system, it's not as bad, but if you're one of those places with like 30 different taps and you got all this pumpkin beer that's going into January, it's just like
half off or like dollar beers.
Yeah, exactly. It's those super seasonal stuff,
It's cool you got like a bunch of local stuff though, from like the wheat that you feed your yeast and make your dough with to the beers and stuff. It seems to be a lot of like you can't get this pizza in the East Coast because like all the shit here is happening in the Northwest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. That's the funny part is like, this is like a very specific set of things, like the way we mix it, the way we feed the starter, the way we let the dough sit out before we put it in the fridge, how long we put it in the fridge. When we pull it out of the fridge, we pull it out a certain amount of time before service so the yeast wakes back up, how we cook it, how we stretch it, how we ball it. All of those things is what makes it what it is. And it's a strict attention to detail for basically 2 full days. And so when people are like, just make more, just make more, just make more. How did you run out? Why are you running out? It's like, well, just make more means I got to do all of those things again or double or at a higher scale. It's not as simple.
Like, do you have a commercial freezer I can use? I'll make more if you let me use your fucking commercial freezer.
I think they just think that like it's just one thing you decide and it doesn't, and just all of a sudden you have double the amount of stuff. Like there's just there's so much nuance to scaling up every single one of those steps that it's just not that simple. So it's like they think that we just sit here and we're just like, you know what, guys? I don't like making a lot of money. I think that would be shitty. We should make the least amount of money possible.
Cap it at 50.
It's like there's trade-offs to these things, but they somehow think think that we despise success or something like that. But there's a lot of people that whenever any small business, everyone wants to give their 2 cents and kind of live vicariously through you. whether it's
Yeah.
like a lot of it's paid with good intentions and others not so much, but a lot of people just want to see you succeed and they just want to talk shop and live vicariously through your business. Like, well, what if you did this? And then you could pay for it and do all the work. And if it works out, I can pat myself on the back.
I mean, it's like all the people that criticize NFT projects before when they don't run their own, where it's like, look, this is harder than it looks from the outside. Like from the outside looking in, you're like, oh yeah, you should just be doing this and this and you'll print money. It's like, it's not that easy when you're.
Yeah, I mean, look
You're
at
the
how
one
long the
doing it.
minting process takes. I mean, when we're minting stuff, like that's a very long set of circumstances to mint, 10,000 or however many NFTs. It certainly took quite a bit of effort between you and Max every time that happened.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff going on behind the scenes too. Like, I mean, even with you, like getting that location, being in like a historic district or whatever, then having to like get approved for everything, liquor licenses, construction, like the amount of work it took to get the amount you can do now to scale up from that. It's like we would need to do all of that again somewhere else, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, the liquor license. Yeah, I totally agree, Lou, too. Yeah, I mean, just getting the building permits was like a 3-month process. Then we could start building, which was about a 14-month process. Then getting the inspections for the liquor control board, for the health permit, for the final building inspection, that was several months, and multiple inspections over a long course of time. So when they're just like, and all of this was very expensive too. We borrowed a lot of money to do it. So it's just like, oh yeah, you're 2 months old and everyone loves your shit. Just open a second one. It's like, hey man, I'm not trying to like take on more debt after I took on basically a house worth of debt already, So it's easy when it's not your money, but when shit hits the fan, like my car is getting repoed, not yours. My wages get garnished, not yours.
yeah,
So.
Yeah, definitely.
people
But yeah, the
are-
liquor license isn't super hard. They just do like a pretty strict background check, and then they review your plans and make sure that all the spacing is correct to be compliant. So there's just a lot of red tape, like as far as specifics. You have to have a certain signs in certain areas. You have to have like measurements on where your 21 and up area is, and clear demarcations on where there's no minors allowed and things like that. So it's very specific, but it's not like super hard, at least in Washington State. In other states, it can be very, very hard. Like in California, to get a liquor license is very, very hard.
Yeah, for sure. It costs like $100,000 to do it too, or something like that.
Yeah, because
It's
they don't really
like-
give out new licenses, I don't think. So you basically have to buy someone
Yeah.
else's license.
Yeah, I didn't realize how that like market worked, and then that's how like fishing in Hawaii works too. Like there's a limited a number of fishing licenses, and so like commercial fishing in Hawaii, like they don't give out new licenses, and if you have a license, you could sell it for like $500,000.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. But that's wild. Yeah, and there's so much that goes into it that people I think don't realize. It's definitely cool to see it though, like up and running too, after like years of building and like having the idea, like the concept, kind of seeing it kind
I
of
mean,
come
you were
to
talking
fruition.
about
is
this
cool.
in 2021, I think, because like
Yeah,
when we started Neon Space and we were talking about our roles and stuff, you're like, yeah, like I'll be able to do this until like next year when we're gonna start doing the pizza thing, and then like I'll have to not be as involved. And that was like 3 years ago at this point, so it took quite some time from like having the idea. And I remember when you guys were like looking for places, like you and your partner were like, yeah, we're going out to Wenatchee to check some places out. And
Yeah, I think I moved here about 2 years ago. So, and then we had wrote the business plan kind of shortly before that. So probably about 2.5 years ago, something like that. It was like still like COVID times too.
And people
So
are like, why can't you just get more dough?
summer,
It's like
we're still in the middle of COVID and we're trying to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed restaurant.
took like 3 years, and people are like, you can't just snap your fingers and double the amount of dough you can make. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's just not
Yeah,
that
I try not
fucking-
to get too riled up about it. It gets exhausting sometimes because like people just come in and be like, "Oh, so did you fix it yet?" I don't want to go into a whole diatribe every time when people tell me that like dozens of times a day.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. we make the max amount of pizzas we can make. Sometimes we sell out.
Get here earlier if you want pizza.
Yeah, it's but I think in a small community we get a lot of good feedback. People really dig it. We kind of have built some regulars even a short amount of time, and people talk about us all the time all around town. So I think it feels good to be like, you know, the cool hot thing to people I've never met.
Yeah, last time I was in Wenatchee, there's not a whole lot going on in Wenatchee as far as like.
Yeah, Mark's a
new
bit of a
cool stuff.
celebrity in Wenatchee.
I don't think so.
He walks. It's like, oh my God, you're the guy. You're the pizza king.
He's the king.
You're the king.
Oh my
You
gosh.
gotta start wearing a crown while you work. I am the king of pizza.
That's
Oh,
good.
man.
All right, well, let's do this last giveaway, and then let's wrap this up. Let Mark get back to his busy stuff.
Back to the pizza experience.
I do want to see. Maybe you can take a video at some point because somebody was saying they want to see. They're like, oh, that dough looks sweet. I want to see it cooked into a pizza. So I don't know if you're not too slammed at some point. Not today, obviously, but a day when you're open or something. Just take a video of pizza cooking, maybe.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we were gonna have someone come out and do like
Like a professional version,
like a pro version where they like take a picture, like do like some TikTok, Instagram kind of content stuff where like tossing dough and loading stuff in the oven and like kind of tossing cheese and stuff. So we've been kind of working towards that.
Nice, that'd be dope.
Fun.
Yeah.
Say if you guys expand, I'll fucking move back to Washington and I'll be your social media/media person. I can fucking make some sick ass TikTok content for you. I know all the hashtags.
I know. Yeah, that's definitely way outside of my comfort zone.
I've been dealing with that with the gyrating hips. I've been reading about been reading a bunch of like guides to marketing and branding and shit. And it's like I probably should have read about this shit years ago from trying to run multiple online businesses, but reading it now, it's been pretty like informative, and I'm back to like doing the Facebook and Instagram ads and TikToking for the gyrating hips, and it's been fun.
There's like a sweet science to it, and like what time of day you post and what kind of content you post is different.
Yeah.
But based on what platform you're on, and you know, trying to have a consistent voice, it's like it's a lot more nuanced than people think.
That's one thing that I've been looking to, because like even like down to the font you use, you should use the same fonts in all of your materials across all platforms. So they're like think about Nike. Nike needs a swoosh and 4 words, and you know it's Nike, because they use the same font on every advertisement and have been for years. So like there's certain things that just become brand recognition, and they're like, if you're trying to create a brand, consistency is super important. So like being aware of all those details and being like, I guess like actually trying to do that, not just like putting out whatever, like down to the fonts, down to like the language they use. They're like, are you a serious business? Are you a jokey business? Like, what is your online persona, and make that consistent. Like, don't have a super jokey post and then super serious post. Like, have a tone for your brand and like keep that consistent, because people will come to recognize and like associate with it. They're like, your goal is to become Coca-Cola eventually, or Nike, where like you can put out anything and people know it's you even without putting your name on it, which is like takes years and years and years of creating a brand to do that. But that's like the end goal.
Yeah, I think it like changes the perception of the business too, or like whatever you're marketing. You know, it's like if it looks polished and consistent and very like, you know, there's an attention to detail, then you're like, okay, this is a pretty legitimate business, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. You just kind of look at it and know like, oh, okay, like this is like a legit place. I mean, we get a lot of comments all the time about the sign in our logo, because Paul did our logo for us, and people think we're a chain, like with zero context, just because they're like, oh, we just thought based on your logo that you were a chain. I
feel like that's a compliment, though.
Or we're like a franchise. Like, yeah, I guess chain's bad because it makes it sound like we're like McDonald's or something. But like, but even I guess McDonald's is good at marketing. But it made it seem like we were like this multi-location franchise or something, because everything looks super polished with the logo.
Those golden arches are fucking amazing branding. People recognize that shit all around the world, anywhere. Like, just see the 2 golden arches, people know what the fuck they're in for.
Yeah. So I think people thought we were like this huge, crazy, like years old operation. It's like, no, dude, we're just some fucking guys who like to smoke weed and make pizza.
Just a couple bros palling around with our pizza.
Just a
50K
couple of virgins.
Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin fucking flying right now? It's like BTC chart.
Yeah, Bitcoin hit 50K today.
Damn.
Dang, girl.
We'll go over that on Wednesday.
Good thing
Today
we
was
all
kind of
bought back in at
impromptu.
like 36 or something recently.
Yeah, like 7 days ago, you could have got it for 43.
This
1
spot
month
bags
ago,
we
you could have
bought
got it for
when we posted about it in
39.
the Discord was pretty fucking solid.
But anyway, yeah, we'll go over that. Today's not a crypto day. Today was a pizza day. But yeah, we're
Today's pizza
gonna do
experience.
our Wax Wednesday and crypto market overview on Wednesday. Friday is our Power World Gaming Day. Maybe might take Thursday off this week since we did an impromptu stream, so maybe we'll do Off the Rails on Friday. I need to work on some music shit, and when we stream for like 4 or 5 hours at a time, it's hard to take time off and do stuff.
I think the new song with Ari, that one was good.
Thank you. Yeah, we got a couple more coming out soon. We got Disco Jones. I'm excited about that one.
Does he sing on that one too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like he and I have like 4 or 5 songs that are. We got Disco Jones. We got It's So Easy is another one. I can play one of them while we do Grubfish. Let me see. Then I have like a song with my buddy in Nashville that we're almost done with, Mr. Robert Leday, extraordinary piano player and singer. And then another buddy in Nashville, Tyler Hutton, guitar player, singer, songwriter. So I've got a bunch of songs I'm working on, which I'm excited about. What do you want to hear, Disco Jones or It's So Easy?
Disco Jones. Let's see that one.
Disco
Yeah, I'm good.
Jones. Disco
Are you
Jones.
trying to put a new album, or is this just kind of one-offs?
I think we'll be doing singles, but maybe it'll do a thing where like if we release enough singles, we'll compile them into an album or an EP. But I don't know, people don't listen to albums anymore. Like albums
True,
are free.
yeah.
I like albums and I like sequencing and all that stuff, but I don't know, probably just release like one song at a time for now.
Yeah, just some extra stuff to add to the shuffle. I feel like is more normal now.
I'm excited, trying to figure out the branding of Gyrating Hips for the future. So I do feel like I've been pretty inconsistent because like every couple of years I like totally change our sound and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, I probably want to be able to like get a following, shouldn't keep changing drastically what we sound like and all that shit. So I'm kind of digging the new stuff though. I feel like the way I'm describing is like retro pop inspired songwriting with electronic production. So it's like a combination of the classic rock and pop stuff I love, but it's a little bit of, like electro house, Daft Punk, EDM stuff thrown in there. But it's like dance music for rock fans or rock music for dance fans. It's kind of like a fucking hybrid. Yeah, here we go. This is Disco Jones. Let me mute Grubfish. But we're going to Grubfish. So last call for Grubfish, exclamation point neon if you want to join. Don't play this song, and then probably end the stream shortly after. Yeah, I still need to. I'm gonna do a little more mixing on this one, but it's almost done. Ari also wanted to change the lyrics. He keeps wanting to redo the vocals. I'm like, the lyrics sound great. I don't know what you're talking about. This shit rocks, brah.
Yeah, I like the lyrics for this one.
Jones come down from San Francisco, showed the sound round Louis Obispo. He sent the tape to LA, they got the deal the next day. We'll put it all up in those drums. You want it all, he's on call for something big. He's so tall and bronze and slim, drinking coffee with Fonda. He met Prince in a sauna, and he's playing with sharks. They don't know he's a piranha. No, Disco Jones, you got the good flow, and nobody knows till you show him that. Disco Jones, you play your cards close to your chest. You're folding and holding it up like, what's this feeling inside of me? Who's the man in the mirror? I still can't see Disco Jones.
Congrats, you got a good man.
Build a home with bricks and stones. Disco Jones. Bump it.
Disco Jones.
Venice Beach, all these people surrounding me. You can't get arrested to be directed. Stella vouch for you, but you don't get selected. You're dressed to impress, but your face is a mess. What good is confidence if it's just powder squeezed in a dress? No nostril is safe now. The cops for the takedown. Yak down on the beach, lying face down. Disco Jones, you got the good flow, and nobody knows till you show them that Disco Jones. You play your cards close to your chest. You're folding and holding it on right. What's this feeling inside of me? Who's the man in the mirror? I still can't see Disco Jones. You got to build a home with bricks and stones. Disco Jones.
Dang, that's a banger, dude. That's good.
DJ. Yeah, pretty happy with that one. I already did some edits. Like I took out some of the bump its. He's like Disco Jones, bump it. Took out a bunch of those. There's too many of those. But we have all the shit happening at the end is like nitpicking. Also, I think we've just been sitting on it too long. Like I'm about to text Ari and be like, hey, can we just release this? Like it sounds really fucking good. He's like, no, like the lyrics aren't good in this one part. I'm like, the lyrics fucking rock, dude. Like I think you're thinking too hard about it. But I don't know, you're always your own worst critic as an artist. You're like, I can always do better. And at a certain point you just need to be like, no, we're just putting it out. Thank you for the follow. Prince EA19. Or Princia? I don't know how you fucking say your name. But thank you for the follow. Regardless if I can say your name correctly or not. Who should we raid into? Could raid into Custom TV playing big time. And I guess if anybody wants to hang, hit us up in Discord. I'm always on Discord. Oops, I just typed the wrong fucking command like an idiot. Uh-oh, I just broke the chat. But yeah, I'll be on Discord. Been getting way into fantasy Counter-Strike lately. Family's trying to play.
That is super fun. I do enjoy it. Well, yeah, that was fun to share the update with everyone. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was super cool to hang out with you for a bit, Mark, too, because I know you're too busy most of the time to come on our stream. Or got to get some gaming sessions back. I don't know if you're ever free at nights, but Pal World's been super fucking fun. You should play Pal World with us.
Yeah, like in the wee hours, yeah. Because I could get home around like 10 o'clock or something, so maybe sometimes I can't
That's right,
sleep.
when the gaming starts cooking. That's the prime gaming hours.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I'll run off, but yeah, good to see you guys, and I'll try not to be a stranger.
Yeah. Have fun with your... do you have more dough shit to do today, or are you done with your dough?
No, I'm pretty much done for the day, so I'm just going to run a few dishes and then go home and be a pile of shit the rest of the day until I do it again tomorrow.
Nice. Well, thanks for hanging. Until next time, we'll see you all later. Have a fantastic week, and peace out, everybody. All right.